Hello, everyone. Welcome to 90 Day Truth Files. Real stories, real truth. Subscribe now. Welcome to Update New Gossip 90 Day. The Last Resort star Jasmine Pineda has given birth to Daddy's twin baby Matilda, and here's everything to know about her first child with Matt Branis revealed so far. Jasmine had two sons from her first marriage in Panama. Jasmine's older son, Jance, lived with Jasmine's ex-husband, while Jasmine had sent her son, JC, to live in the countryside with her mom. Jasmine's sons are now teenagers, with JC having been born with special needs. Before getting pregnant, Jasmine worried that her next baby would also be a special child. Jasmine has revealed that her new baby is happy and healthy. Jasmine hid her pregnancy from fans for several months, but now that she's able to talk about the baby, she's been sharing several photos of her daughter on social media. It is not known if Matt had any other children in the past, but he too seems to be over the moon. Jasmine and Matt's relationship is yet to be discussed on the show since he was only just included in Gino and Jasmine's storyline about open marriage as a third. On February 18, 2025, Jasmine made a collaboration post with the network and show's Instagram profilito officially announced that she was pregnant. Jasmine revealed that her baby was on the way and that Gino was not the father. Have very special news for you. Jasmine said in the video as she caressed her belly while wearing a flowy off-shoulder cream gown. Jasmine added, "Let me announce to you that I am pregnant." She said she was very happy and excited and couldn't wait to see her baby. The post caption explained that Jasmine was expecting her first baby with Matt, who was recently introduced on the show. Jasmine had officially confirmed her pregnancy for the TV audience when she filmed 90 Day. The Last Resort Season 2 Tell-All. The reunion episodes were filmed in January 2025. Blogger Shabuti was the first to confirm that Jasmine was pregnant, but not with Gino's baby, and that she had also moved to Florida with the baby daddy. By April 10th, 2025, Jasmine revealed that her family had gotten a little bigger. She took to Instagram again to share that she had given birth to her first baby with her boyfriend. Introducing Maddie, our sweet baby girl, Jasmine and Matt told the network in a joint statement before adding that Maddie was already filling their hearts with so much love and joy. Interestingly, viewers noticed that the baby looked too big to be a newborn in the pictures that were posted online. Upon some prodding, pages such as 90 Day Fiancé Alexa confirmed that Maddie was born a while ago. Jasmine's photographer Saron Photo shared an album with several photos documenting Jasmine's birth story. Jasmine opted for a water birth where she chose to welcome the baby in a deep tub of warm water. In her caption, the photographer revealed that the baby was born 3 weeks ago when they were rushed to the hospital where Jasmine waysat. Considering the dates, Jasmine's baby, Maddie, was born on March 19, 2025. Jasmine is considered a girl's girl in the franchise. She has several cast members supporting her as she experiences motherhood for the first time in America. While Jasmine had chosen to keep the baby news confined to a small circle, the group included Jasmine's friends Nikki Exatica and her immigration lawyer Kelsey Zubkoff. Jasmine's daughter has two godmothers, Nikki and Kelsey. The month-old baby is already as popular as a major 90 Day. The Last Resort cast member. Hey, what's up, everyone? Welcome back to Update New Gossip 90 Day. Today we've got a huge Jasmine Pineda update that has fans doing double takes because the story has moved fast, the timeline has been messy, and the cast connections around this one are honestly wild. Jasmine, who fans know from her roller coaster relationship with Gino, is now officially a mom again in the US, and this time the baby is with Matt Branis. And yes, Jasmine is finally sharing details and photos, so let's break down everything that's been revealed so far, what's confirmed, what's still unclear, and why this changes the whole conversation around Jasmine's future in the franchise. Before we jump in, quick reminder, I'm only using the info that's been publicly shared by Jasmine, the show pages, and what's been discussed openly online. No private info, no crossing lines, just the story as it exists in public. Now let's get into it. Jasmine has always been open about wanting love, wanting stability, and wanting a real family life. But she's also been honest about her fears and past struggles, especially when it comes to motherhood and being away from her kids. Longtime viewers already know Jasmine had two sons from her first marriage in Panama. Her older son has lived with Jasmine's ex-husband, and her younger son has lived with Jasmine's mom in the countryside. Jasmine's kids are teenagers now, and she has shared that her younger son was born with special needs. That detail matters because it explains why Jasmine has been emotional for years about parenting, why she's felt guilt being far away, and why she's been nervous about expanding her family again. And that's where this new baby story hits extra hard. Because before this pregnancy, Jasmine had talked about a fear that if she had another child, the baby might also be born with special needs. She has said that worry was always in the back of her mind. So when she finally confirmed she was pregnant, a lot of fans didn't just react with shock. They reacted with concern, hope, and questions. Then came the next surprise. Jasmine didn't just confirm a pregnancy. She confirmed that Gino was not the father. That right there flipped the narrative. Because for the longest time, the public storyline was Jasmine and Gino, marriage drama, trust drama, and all those explosive fights. Then we started hearing about this third-person situation linked to the open marriage storyline. Matt Branis enters that conversation, and suddenly the audience is trying to connect dots in real time. Jasmine's relationship with Matt hasn't been fully explained on the show yet, and that's why fans have been so obsessed with the details. People are trying to understand when this started, how serious it is, whether it overlapped with the Gino marriage, and what the show will reveal versus what Jasmine is revealing online. Jasmine kept her pregnancy quiet for months. That wasn't just a casual "I didn't mention it." It was a full-on secret, with fans saying they had no idea until she and the show pages finally made it official. And the way she announced it was super calculated and very TV-ready. On February 18th, 2025, Jasmine did a collaboration post with the network and the show's Instagram page, basically making it official in a way that felt like a storyline drop. In the video, she's touching her belly, wearing a soft cream off-shoulder gown, and she's smiling like she's been holding this in for a long time. She says she has special news, then she announces she's pregnant, and she looks genuinely excited and emotional. But then the caption and the framing made it very clear. This baby is not Gino's. It's her first child with Matt Branis, who had recently been introduced to viewers. So now, the public has a new reality. Jasmine is building a family with someone else, and the franchise is letting that be part of the narrative. After that announcement, the conversation got even louder. Because fans were like, okay, if Jasmine is pregnant, what does that mean for the Last Resort storyline? What does that mean for the tell-all? What does that mean for Gino? And what does it mean for Jasmine's life in America? Then came the next big confirmation, the tell-all. Jasmine reportedly confirmed her pregnancy for the TV audience during the tell-all filming for The Last Resort Season 2. The reunion episodes were filmed in January 2025, and that timing matters because it suggests she was already in the middle of this pregnancy, while the show was still actively filming the aftermath of her marriage drama. And that's exactly why people keep saying this is one of the messiest, most dramatic off-screen to on-screen transitions the franchise has had in a while. Then bloggers got involved. Blogger Shabuti was one of the first to say Jasmine was pregnant, not by Gino, and that she'd moved to Florida with the baby daddy. That added a whole other layer because it wasn't just Jasmine is dating someone. It was Jasmine's life has physically shifted, she's relocated, and she's preparing for a new baby with a new partner. Now here's where it gets even more interesting. By April 10th, 2025, Jasmine went back to Instagram and basically confirmed that her family had gotten bigger. She shared that she had given birth to her first baby with her boyfriend, and the baby's name reveal made it feel even more real for fans who were still stuck in shock mode. Jasmine and Matt released a joint statement through the network introducing their sweet baby girl, Maddie, and they said she was already filling their hearts with love and joy. That statement sounded like the official "we're a couple, this is our baby, and we're not hiding anymore" moment. And fans immediately noticed something about the photos. People said the baby looked bigger than a typical newborn in the images that were posted. That sparked a whole new wave of timeline debates. Because if Maddie looked older, then fans started questioning when she was actually born and how long Jasmine had been keeping this private. Some fan pages and accounts started claiming Maddie was born earlier than the post suggested. And then the birth story details started circulating. Jasmine's photographer, Saron Photo, reportedly shared a full album documenting Jasmine's birth story, and that's when people learned Jasmine chose a water birth. She welcomed her baby in a deep tub of warm water, a calm setup, and the vibe was very intimate and supportive. In the caption, the photographer reportedly mentioned the baby was born 3 weeks before the photos were being shared publicly, and that there was a moment where they were rushed to the hospital where Jasmine was. When fans put those details together with the dates being discussed, people concluded that Maddie was likely born around March 19th, 2025. Now listen, that date is based on fans connecting public posts and captions. But either way, the key point is this. Jasmine had already given birth before the big "Here's Our Baby Girl" announcement went wide. That's why it felt like a surprise drop. Jasmine didn't do weekly bump updates. She didn't do the typical influencer pregnancy timeline. She kept it tight, private, and then suddenly shared everything once she felt ready. And honestly, after all the chaos she's been through publicly, I can see why she'd want to protect something this personal until she felt safe. Another detail that's been getting a lot of attention is the support system Jasmine has built around her in the US. People call Jasmine a girl's girl in the franchise because she tends to bond with women and she leans on female friendships when things get tough. And this time, it looks like she had a small circle who knew about the pregnancy and supported her privately. That circle reportedly included Nikki Exotica and Jasmine's immigration lawyer, Kelsey Zubkoff. Fans say Nikki and Kelsey have been in Jasmine's corner during this new motherhood chapter. And one of the sweetest details making the rounds is that Maddie has 2 godmothers, Nikki and Kelsey. Whether you love Jasmine or you don't, that part tells you she's trying to build real stability around her baby, not just a TV storyline. Now what about Matt Branis? That's the question fans keep asking. Because Jasmine is the one we know. We've watched Jasmine cry, scream, apologize, explode, and rebuild herself on camera. But Matt is new to viewers. What's been said publicly is limited. It's not clearly known if Matt has other children from the past. Jasmine hasn't laid out his full backstory in a detailed way, and the show hasn't fully introduced him with a long storyline yet. But based on what people have seen, Matt appears extremely happy, present, and proud. In the shared posts and statements, he seems over the moon. Fans are split about him. Some are like, finally Jasmine found someone calmer. Others are like, we need to see how this started before we celebrate. And honestly, that's fair. Because the missing piece is still the timeline and the relationship origin story. The show teased Matt within the open marriage storyline, which makes some viewers feel weird about it. Some fans feel like Jasmine is rewriting history, while others believe she was already emotionally done with Gino and just stayed in the storyline, because that's how reality TV works. Here's what we can say without guessing. Jasmine and Matt's relationship hasn't been fully explained on the show yet, and that's why the audience feels behind. Jasmine's real life moved faster than the episodes, and that always causes chaos in reality TV fandoms. Now let's talk about the biggest elephant in the room, Gino. Because as soon as Jasmine said the baby wasn't Gino's, that basically confirmed a huge shift in their marriage story. Viewers already knew Jasmine and Gino were struggling. The fights were constant, the trust was broken, and the relationship felt like it was surviving on drama and attachment more than peace. But a baby with someone else is a line you don't uncross. Whether they were separated, whether it was an open relationship, whether it happened during a break, the public perception changes instantly. And the show will definitely use that tension. Fans are now waiting to see how the tell-all handled it, what Gino's reaction looked like, and whether Jasmine came across confident, emotional, defensive, or relieved. Because depending on how the edit goes, the audience could turn on her or rally behind her. And Jasmine knows that. That's why her announcement felt so strategic. She didn't do it as a random rumor. She did it as an official network collaboration. That means the franchise wanted the audience to accept this as the next chapter, not just gossip. And now that the baby is here, Jasmine has been sharing photos of her daughter. She's posting like a mom who's proud, relieved, and finally able to breathe. She's also said publicly that the baby is healthy and doing well, which directly addresses the fear she had earlier about special needs. For Jasmine, that's likely a huge emotional weight lifted, because she's spent years in the public eye carrying guilt about her sons in Panama and trying to build a life in the U.S. This baby is her first time experiencing motherhood in America in a hands-on daily way. And that's a completely different reality than being long distance from your kids. So you can understand why she might be pouring so much emotion into this chapter. At the same time, fans are still asking, what about her sons? Jasmine's sons are teenagers now. The older one has been with her ex-husband, and the younger one with Jasmine's mom. People have opinions about that, and the comments online can get harsh. But it's important to keep the conversation grounded. We don't know the private legal or family arrangements. We only know what Jasmine has shared, that her kids are in Panama, that she has struggled with the situation, and that she has tried to navigate immigration, finances, and personal issues in a very public spotlight. This new baby doesn't erase that conversation. It just adds a new layer to it. Fans will be watching to see if Jasmine talks more about her sons, if she hints at plans to reunite, or if she keeps that part private. Now here's what I think is the most important takeaway so far. Jasmine has moved into a new era where she's not just a reality TV wife fighting with her husband. She's now a mom in the U.S. with a new partner, a new baby, and a new support circle. That changes the power dynamic. It changes what she'll tolerate. It changes how she presents herself. And it changes how the franchise can use her story. Because now it's not just about couples drama. It's about a family situation, and that can either soften her image or make the backlash louder, depending on how the show frames it. Another thing, fans are already calling Maddie as popular as a cast member, and honestly, that's not even an exaggeration. The baby post blew up. People who don't even like Jasmine were commenting. People who stopped watching were suddenly curious again. That's the reality TV formula. A surprise baby, a new man, and an unresolved marriage storyline equals instant viral attention. So what happens next? The next stage is the on-screen explanation. The show still has to catch up to real life. Viewers will be looking for answers. When did Jasmine and Matt truly become a couple? Was it an open marriage situation? Were Jasmine and Gino separated? How did Jasmine end up in Florida? How involved is Matt? Does Gino still speak to her? And will Jasmine's motherhood arc be shown respectfully? Or will it be edited for maximum chaos? That's what we're waiting on. And as new updates drop, I'm going to keep bringing them to you with the full timeline, the receipts that are public, and the clean version of the story without the rumor exaggeration. If you want the next part, I'm going to continue from exactly this last line. Viewers will be looking for answers. When did Jasmine and Matt truly become a couple? Viewers will be looking for answers. When did Jasmine and Matt truly become a couple? That's the biggest question hanging over this entire situation. Because while Jasmine has now fully stepped into her new motherhood era, the timeline of how everything unfolded is still something fans are trying to piece together. And in reality TV, timeline is everything. It shapes public opinion. It shapes who viewers support. And it shapes how the show edits the story moving forward. From what has been publicly discussed, Matt Branis first came into the picture through the storyline involving Jasmine and Gino's open marriage conversations. At that point, viewers were already seeing serious cracks in Jasmine and Gino's relationship. The arguments felt heavier, the trust seemed thinner, and the emotional distance between them was obvious. Some fans believe Jasmine and Gino were already emotionally separated long before anything became physical with Matt. Others think the overlap might have been messy. But here's the key point. Until the show gives a full breakdown, everything outside of what Jasmine herself confirms remains speculation. What we do know is that Jasmine's life shifted quickly once Matt entered it. The move to Florida, the pregnancy, and then the baby all happened within a relatively short window. That kind of fast transition suggests Jasmine wasn't just casually dating. She was building a new life structure. And now with a baby in the picture, that structure has become permanent. Matt's role has also started to become clearer through small details. Even though he hasn't had a full introduction episode yet, the joint statements and photos show that he's present and involved. He's not just someone in the background. He's actively stepping into the role of partner and father. And fans have noticed that Jasmine seems calmer in her recent posts. There's less chaos in her tone, less of the emotional spirals that used to define her online presence. Instead, there's a more grounded energy. A lot of viewers are interpreting that as a sign that Jasmine finally feels secure. Motherhood can do that. It can shift priorities instantly. And for Jasmine, this baby seems to represent stability she's been chasing for years. But at the same time, being a reality TV personality means nothing stays private forever. The show will eventually air the details. And when it does, that's when public reaction will either stabilize or explode again. One thing that's already clear is that Jasmine didn't go through this pregnancy alone. She had a tight support circle. Nikki Exotica has been one of her most visible supporters. The two have developed a strong friendship within the franchise circle, and Nikki has shown up for Jasmine both publicly and privately. Jasmine's immigration lawyer, Kelsey Zubkoff, has also been a key part of her support system. Having someone who understands the legal and personal stress of immigration while also being a friend makes a huge difference. And that's likely why Jasmine chose both Nikki and Kelsey as Maddie's godmothers. That decision says a lot about trust. It shows who Jasmine considers family in the US right now. Because building a family far from your home country is never easy. You have to create your own circle. And it looks like Jasmine has done exactly that. Now let's talk about the birth itself. Jasmine chose a water birth, which many fans found both surprising and fitting. Water births are often chosen for a calmer, more natural delivery experience. According to the shared birth story, Jasmine welcomed Maddie in a deep tub of warm water. The setting appeared intimate and peaceful, surrounded by people she trusted. There was reportedly a moment where they had to move quickly to the hospital location, which added some intensity to the experience. But in the end, the delivery was successful and both Jasmine and the baby were healthy. For Jasmine, who had spent months worrying about complications or special needs, that outcome likely felt like a massive emotional relief. Once the baby was born, Jasmine didn't immediately flood social media with updates. Instead, she kept things contained. Only a small group knew. That group included her closest friends and trusted supporters. When she finally did start posting photos, the reaction was instant. Fans were shocked, but also curious. Some people focused on how happy Jasmine looked. Others focused on the timeline. And of course, some critics questioned everything. That's the reality of being a public figure with a complicated romantic history. Every move gets analyzed. Every date gets compared. Every caption gets dissected. But Jasmine seems to have accepted that reality. Her recent posts show confidence. She's not hiding her baby. She's not downplaying her relationship with Matt. She's presenting this as her truth and her new beginning. Another interesting detail is how quickly baby Maddie has become a recognizable name among fans. Within weeks, the baby was being talked about across fan pages, comment sections, and discussion groups. Some fans even joked that Maddie is already a star of the franchise. That level of attention can be overwhelming, but it also shows how invested viewers are. In Jasmine's story, love her or hate her, Jasmine has always been someone people watch closely. And now with the baby involved, that attention has doubled. Looking ahead, the biggest question is how the franchise will handle this storyline on screen. Will they frame Jasmine's new relationship as a fresh start? Will they lean into the drama of how it began? Will they give Matt a full introduction episode? Or will most of this play out through social media rather than traditional episodes? Reality TV has changed a lot. Cast members now reveal huge life updates online before episodes even air. That creates a situation where the audience already knows major outcomes before seeing the official version. And that's exactly what's happening here. By the time viewers see the storyline fully unfold on TV, they'll already know Jasmine had the baby and built a life with Matt. So the tension won't come from what happens. It will come from how it happened. That's where editing, interviews, and cast reactions will matter most. Gino's response will be especially important. Whether he appears hurt, supportive, angry, or indifferent will shape how viewers interpret everything. Because even though Jasmine has clearly moved forward, the audience still associates her with Gino. Their story lasted years. It dominated multiple seasons. And closing that chapter properly on screen is something fans will expect. Another factor is how Jasmine balances her public and private life going forward. She now has a newborn. She has an evolving relationship. She has a complicated past with the franchise. And she has fans who support her alongside critics who question her decisions. Navigating all of that requires careful choices. So far, Jasmine seems to be focusing on positivity. Her posts emphasize love, gratitude, and motherhood. She's highlighting the joy of having Maddie rather than engaging heavily in online arguments. That shift in tone suggests she's prioritizing peace over drama, at least publicly. And honestly, after everything she's been through in the spotlight, that might be exactly what she needs. At the end of the day, Jasmine's story has entered a completely new phase. She's no longer just the fiery partner in a chaotic relationship. She's now a mother starting over in a new country with a new partner and a new baby. That's a massive life transition. Whether viewers support her or criticize her, one thing is certain. People are watching closely to see how this next chapter unfolds. And as more details come out through episodes, interviews, and social media posts, we'll keep tracking every confirmed update so you don't miss a thing. And as more details come out through episodes, interviews, and social media posts, we'll keep tracking every confirmed update so you don't miss a thing. Because if there's one thing we know about Jasmine Pineda, it's that her story never stays quiet for long. Every time fans think they've seen it all, another twist appears. And this new chapter with baby Maddie and Matt Branis might be the biggest shift yet in Jasmine's entire reality TV journey. Right now, Jasmine seems focused on settling into motherhood in America. That alone is a huge adjustment. For years, she lived between countries emotionally and physically. She dealt with visa stress, long-distance relationships, public scrutiny, and constant uncertainty. Now, for the first time in a long time, she appears to be building something stable on U.S. soil. Having a newborn changes everything. The daily routine becomes about feeding schedules, sleep patterns, doctor visits, and creating a safe environment. Those are grounding experiences. And for someone who has lived so publicly in chaos, grounding can feel like a fresh start. Fans who follow Jasmine closely have noticed that her tone on social media has softened. She's still expressive, still dramatic in the way only Jasmine can be, but there's a calmer layer now. She talks about gratitude more. She shares moments of quiet happiness, and she seems protective of this new life she's created with Matt and Maddie. That protective energy makes sense. When you've had your personal life dissected on TV for years, you learn quickly what to keep private and what to share carefully. At the same time, curiosity about Matt Branis keeps growing. Because even though he's now officially the father of Jasmine's daughter, viewers still feel like they barely know him. His background, his previous relationships, his work life, and how he and Jasmine connected in the first place are still mostly off-camera details. That mystery creates both intrigue and skepticism. Some fans want to give him the benefit of the doubt and see how he shows up as a partner and father. Others are cautious and want to see consistency over time before fully supporting the relationship. What seems clear from Jasmine's posts and statements is that Matt has been supportive during pregnancy and after the birth. He's present in photos, included in announcements, and part of the narrative Jasmine is sharing publicly. That level of involvement suggests this isn't a temporary situation. It looks like they're building a real household together. And with a baby involved, that commitment becomes even more serious. Parenthood forces people to make long-term decisions quickly. Where to live, how to manage finances, how to balance work and